2016. And guys, in case you haven't heard, less than an hour ago, about 40 minutes ago, a 6.5 earthquake has struck off the coast of California along the Gorda Escarpment. This is the exact spot where we issued the warning for this week, and we told you to watch out. It could go rather large, and we issued the re-warning again last night, telling people to watch. I was looking for a mid-range 5 to 6 and a 6.5 hit, so a half magnitude off, location spot on, exactly spot on. If people are on the West Coast, no doubt about it, they felt this earthquake in Northwest California. And in case people are wondering what we need to watch out for, this now places Southern California and the Midwest on heightened alert. We need to get the warnings out immediately to the people in the Midwest and to Southern California that there is a potential threat for an increase in magnitudes and frequency. Frequency is the number of earthquakes that happen, and of course, magnitude is the size of the earthquakes. So we're going to see a dramatic increase in magnitude and frequency in these locations to the south and to the east. And if we follow our red line that takes us through Colorado, through Oklahoma, through South Missouri, the east coast of the U.S., all the way up through southeast Canada, we need to be on watch over the next 3 days now. 3 days, 72 hours, will take this pressure to go all the way across the U.S. at the most. So this is the largest earthquake to strike this location this year. And I would dare say that the people had a warning. The warning was issued. It's over on my channel. There's 2 days worth of warnings, guys. So we were talking about this last night. We were talking about it the night before. We talked about the potential of it becoming large. We looked at the other earthquakes around the Pacific, and that's how we came to our magnitude determination. So if you live in California, you had plenty of time to prepare. Plenty of time. The warnings got out. Again, guys, this is a 6.5, the largest earthquake of the day, and of course of the year in California. But so far today, this is also the largest earthquake. This is striking near Ferndale at a 12-kilometer depth, and many people telling me this is near Carmel, California. Guys, I've got a relative that lives in Carmel directly, so if people are reporting it was felt in Carmel, I might be able to make a phone call to my aunt who lives there and find out if she's felt it. I can get a first-hand report. But just understand, see the Gorda Escarpment. Guys, I'm going to turn on a display capture so that you can see what I'm looking at, so you can see my mouse and everything. Okay, here is the Gorda Escarpment. Here's Northern California. The reason this area was put under pressure, look where the Gorda Escarpment goes. See how it goes out to the west? See how it just keeps going west and going west, reaching out towards Hawaii and then further to the west? Okay, there was a series of earthquakes that happened over here in the West Pacific over the past few days, deep earthquakes. Now, these deep earthquakes have led to shallower, larger movement. And starting last night, a new 6 struck up here in China, a new series of 5s pressing out around the plate. Then the 6 hit down in South America, and then the 6 hit over here in Venezuela. Now we have a 6 off the west coast of California. Okay, so guys, what can I say? I mean, if you would tune into my channel over on my main YouTube channel, you could actually go see the warning that was issued last night for California. I'm going to save this as a video on my channel, which you can feel confident to get out to the world as another example of how we forecast, how we get warnings out for people, and what we expect. I expect that the people on the West Coast would want to know when a 6 is coming their way. Right? I mean, people in California, you want to know when there's going to be a 6.0 and greater. I understand the smaller earthquakes might not be interested in it, but I know millions of people in California would want to know when a 6 is going to strike. You had a 2-day warning issued for this to occur in this exact spot. And I mean, I named it down to the Gorda Escarpment off the coast of Eureka. And I'm not bragging, I just got to tell you, that warning was issued on purpose so that you could get it. So I've got, about 845 people in the 2 rooms right now. Please, go grab that video and share it. And share this one when I'm done. I'm going to save it as a video on my channel, get it out to the world. So we're watching for an increase in activity in the Midwest. How high are we going to go? Well, in the past, we've seen similar sized earthquakes. When a 6 strikes on the West Coast, we might see a 5.8 strike in the Midwest. Just a few points less. Or sometimes we even see equal. So, a 6 on the West Coast can cause a 6 in the Midwest. So if you live in Oklahoma, you really need to have your guard up over the next couple days. Same within southern Colorado and West Texas, right where we see the red line go through. After Oklahoma is hit, the areas to the east, Missouri, Alabama, East Coast, that is also going to be under serious stress. But the magnitude, this could go up to about 5.9 in the Midwest. It's potential. There is potential for up to a 5, upper 5, maybe even a 6. The largest in state history. If it's a 6, it'll be the largest in state history. But there's a 6.5 off the coast right now, which means that we definitely need to be prepared for that to happen. Now, let me explain something here really quick to you guys, so if you're new here, you understand. The way we determine our zones to watch, we look for our silent zones. The silent zones are spots that haven't been hit yet. Now, there's many different silent zones. Right now, we've got a whole plethora of silent zones. We've got at least 5 or 6 over here in the West Pacific, in between the spots where the earthquakes are. And then we have activity that's spreading out over towards Europe right now, that again, we have silent zones in between the spots that have moved. Well, those spots are all going to be hit next in the next 24 to 48 hours. And we have to add and combine the earthquakes on either side to determine our magnitudes in the middle. So in this case, you would add the 4.8 that you see on the screen here with the cluster of 4s, and that equals a 5 right in the middle. Just one example. And we always see the middle points, our fulcrum points, be struck next. And that held true this morning with the 6.5 on the West Coast. So if you live in California, I'm guessing most likely you were caught extremely off guard by this earthquake. The reason you were caught off guard is because nobody warned you except for one channel on YouTube that only had maybe 2,000, 3,000 people get the warning. That's me here on this channel. So, what can I say? I'm glad that I was not 100 miles off. If I was 100 miles off this 6.5 or 200 miles off, it would be striking on land and causing major damage to areas. Now, instead, it's about 100 miles, maybe a little bit more offshore, which is enough just to shake things up and, again, cause problems, but not to cause major damage. Okay? So, guys, hello! The megaquake that I was looking for just hit as I'm talking right now. Emergency. The 8.0 earthquake at the Triangular Bend in the West Pacific at Solomon Island, Solomon Sea, was just struck by a megaquake. An 8.0. There it is on the screen. Let me go ahead and get the station information. This is a 30-kilometer deep 8.0. Now, guys, this is what we were talking about for this week. This is the exact spot, the location where we issued the warning for the megaquake to happen. And I said 7.9. Now we have it. It's an 8.0. An 8.0. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the station location information. We're going to look up the National Data Buoy Center and see if we have any buoys in motion right now for a tsunami warning. This is a serious deal. This is a big deal. Please get the warnings out. Now look, we've got one station in motion here off the coast of California, but this earthquake is still too young to determine how many stations are going to happen over here. I can guarantee there's going to be a tsunami off of this of some kind. Some kind of wave activity will come off of this. Now, will it be all the way up to 10-foot waves? No. It'll be more like 3 to 4 foot waves we've seen in the past off these 8s. It's enough to cause some damage, and it's enough to certainly, hurt people, knock down structures, cause major disruption in the area. Now, the reason this 8.0 hit is for twofold. Because of the earthquakes that have been striking across the area, the deep earthquakes over the past several days, there was a whole cluster of deep earthquakes. Also, a deep 6.3 just a few days prior to this. All in all, this is the exact spot where we issued the warning for a 7.9 to strike. Now, you see, they've just revised it yet once again. Now it is at 8.0. 8.0. Get the warning out to the people around the West Pacific. This will most likely cause a tsunami of some kind. I'm going to go to tsunami.gov. And let's check this next. Now, they just revised the coordinates. They don't have the earthquake yet. Or no, do they? They do have the earthquake, but they're saying week 53, tsunami information statement. Earthquakes of this size are known to generate tsunamis potentially dangerous to coast outside of the source region. The U.S. National Tsunami Warning Center is analyzing the event to determine if of the level of danger. More information will be issued as it becomes available. Preliminary information only. No tsunami warning yet, but guys, this is about to change because, again, it takes a few minutes for them to determine whether or not there's been a tsunami. When the buoys go into mode, we see that happen. The buoys go into event mode. How many people are in here right now? We need to get this up over 1,000. Guys, please share it. Got to get the warning out, man. There's tsunami being generated right now over here in the West Pacific. It will spread out to the other Asian countries. This could go as far north as Japan. Okay? So, understand, right now, California was just hit with a 6.5 less than an hour ago. Then, an 8.0 has just struck here in the Solomon Islands, Solomon Sea, west of Vanuatu, over in the West Pacific. And we've got to get the warnings out to the people who matter. The people who matter over here, of course, are Papua New Guinea, Indonesia, French Papua New Guinea. We've got French Polynesia going over to the east. We've got Fiji and Tonga. They all need to get the warning. And the areas adjacent to this 8.0 need to be warned. My video last night talked about this specifically. The video over the past couple days talked about the threat of 8.0, 7.9 activity. Well, here we are. So, one more time. California was hit by a 6.5, shaking things up on the west coast of the U.S. Now, an 8.0, the largest earthquake of the year, has struck in the warned location, and the warned location was the Solomon Islands, and this is exactly inside of the Santa Cruz Solomon Islands. Now, they elevated the depth from 30 to 40 kilometers. They have not changed the magnitude yet, but this is definitely a telltale sign that we are under serious stress. Now, I'm going to show you the last 7 days worth of earthquakes really quick, just so you can get a better picture of how much heightened unrest there's been. This is phenomenal. Look at the amount of earthquake activity the last 7 days. I mean, we are talking the entire Ring of Fire lit up like I haven't seen it in years. The amount of deep earthquakes going far above and beyond anything that I've seen. So, deep earthquakes, phenomenal. Massive movement happening, and then now a very large earthquake. The largest of the year, striking in the spot where we talked about last night. If you want to see what I talked about last night, just click on my name down below this video. It'll take you over to my YouTube channel and watch the most recent favorited video from last night. It was saved by Copper Tropicals, or you can watch my updates from the night before, issuing warnings for this spot. Now, they just reported in, USGS now reporting in, guys. Took them that long for the USGS to even get the earthquake out to the world. 8.0 now showing up on all international feeds. Be prepared for this chat to blow up once people get the warnings on the USGS apps. So if you're just now tuning in, 8.0 earthquake has struck in the Santa Cruz Solomon Islands. I'm going to hit refresh on the National Data Buoy Center, and we're going to see, is there any wave motion? Yeah, we've got wave motion. We've got 2 stations now in flux, and they're in event mode right now. Let's see how much rise or fall we've got associated with this. This will tell us in meters what our rise and fall is. Okay, now out in the ocean, not along shore, out in the ocean, we're looking about a half inch. Well, let's see. A quarter meter. So a foot wave. Let's just put it that way. A half meter, or I'm sorry, a third of a meter, which is about a foot. A foot wave or disturbance is detected out in the ocean, which means that when that 1 foot wave comes into, let's say, a bay or a beach, that 1 foot wave could easily grow into a 4 to 5 foot wave, if not higher. So we have to understand there is a tsunami being generated right now. There is wave motion happening, at least 1 foot. That's per the buoy that I just looked at there. So that's one station. Now on both sides, the coast of Australia, get the warning out to the people in Australia right now. Looks like there's a wave heading towards the coast of Australia. Now, we have to be cautious on this. We have to be cautious on this. I don't know how big it's going to be. Don't know. I can tell you this. There is 1 foot of displacement out here right now. You can see it. Our measurements here on the left-hand side goes from regular wave height at 32, 54, 65 meters, and then it goes up to 3254.8. That's what? 0.15 meters. So it's a little less than a foot disturbance out in the water, the open water. Well, guys, tsunamis only build their height when they actually come into land. So this 1 foot or half a foot disturbance out in the ocean right now means there is a wave on its way. It's just a matter of how big it's going to be. So let's just err on the side of caution and say it's going to be a few feet. And understand that the stations are now moving on both sides. So now we have 3 stations in event mode, one off the coast of California where we had our 6.5 in the warned location, and the other down here on both sides of the new 8.0 earthquake. So the largest earthquake of the year in the West Pacific following our deep earthquake event. For everybody here who's tuning in, you've got to understand there was multiple days warning for each of these earthquakes. Multiple days warning. And we issued those warnings publicly on my YouTube channel, which you can go click the videos and watch for yourself and hear us name these areas and the magnitudes. Now, I was looking for a 7.9 to strike in this location, instead an 8 hit. I was looking for a 5.9 to 6 to hit California and a 6.5 hit. The locations are spot on. The magnitudes are within a half magnitude. That's definitely an earthquake forecast hit, as I would consider it. So understand right now as we are talking, there are waves that are being developed, and the U.S., let's hit refresh on our Tsunami Warning Center. No watch warning or threat issued yet, but that really doesn't mean anything. Let's see if they still have the same. Okay, for Alaska, Columbia, Washington, California, and Oregon, no real information given. They're still evaluating the information to issue a warning. Well, I can tell you this. Buoys are moving. Buoys are moving in event mode, meaning some kind of wave activity is taking place right now. Even though tsunami.gov is saying nothing. It's not that they're saying that there's nothing. They're just saying it's all clear right now. No warnings issued. We'll wait and see, but you can see the buoys moving yourself. You don't have to take my word for it. National Data Buoy Center.noaa.gov. And how many people are in here right now? About 1,200. Okay, that's enough. If people are in here now listening and you're new, warnings were issued last night and the night before for the coast of California and for Vanuatu in Solomon Islands. Both have been hit. Vanuatu, 8.0. Solomon Islands, again, right there. And California, 6.5. So that's all going down right now. This is the largest earthquake of the year. This is going to cause an excitement in other areas down the road, so to speak. Take a look at which way the arrows are pointing, guys. Which way are the arrows pointing? And those are the spots we have to watch for new movement. As if that wasn't all enough, we have to watch over in the East Pacific for an up to 8.0 or similar sized earthquake to strike. I would dare say it would be a little less. a little less than 8, which puts it into the 7 range potential in the East Pacific for movement. Central America, South America, there's 2 spots. Take a look at where our arrows point to. These are the 2 spots to watch. We watch in South America because pressure from the West Pacific gets pushed over to the East Pacific. Yes, earthquakes over here are related to earthquakes over here. As if we needed any more signs of that, since the 6.5 struck just before this 8.0. They are related back and forth. This West Pacific and East Pacific movement. It's phenomenal. Phenomenal, guys. So, in case you're just now tuning in, largest earthquake of the year has just struck in Solomon Islands, Solomon Sea. And the largest earthquake of the year has struck on the west coast of the United States. So our largest earthquake of the year and the largest earthquake on the planet of the year within a few hours of each other at the most. This all follows our deep earthquake event spanning 10,000 miles distance yesterday. Our deep earthquakes are raised high off the globe. You can see them here, raised high off the globe. And so this deep earthquake event led to our shallower, larger movement right in between the 2 deep earthquakes. You see that? 2 deep earthquakes, one on either side, large earthquake right in between. It's pretty obvious, guys. So, I'm going to save this as a video on my channel. For everybody here who's new, please subscribe. I'm trying to get the warnings out to the public, and mainstream media ain't having it. You know why, right? They denied that earthquakes could be forecast. They said it was too complex. You know that, right? USGS said that it was too complex to forecast earthquakes, so that nobody could do it. Nobody could do that. By the way, English Channel was just struck, 3.4. Let's end the video right here. I'll save it on my channel. English Channel. We issued a forecast for the English Channel this week, guys. England, English Channel, and it's a magnitude higher than what I was looking for. I was looking for a 2.5, and we have a 3.4 in the English Channel. Very rare. So we've got a day of rare earthquakes. And if you live in these areas, or you live next to these areas, or if you know people who do, or if you have business associates in the area, please let them know. This 8.0 is going to excite things over to the west, to the north, and to the east. All 3 areas to the east, west, and north are going to show excessive movement over the next 48 to 72 hours. And when I say excessive, we're talking about at least mid-range 6 activity striking each of our silent zones to the west. At least. And our silent zones are the spots between where we see the movement that's already happened. So we have a few silent spots to the west of this 8 that are going to be hit very, very soon. Very soon. In the next 24 to 48 hours. Which means the people in Indonesia need to be warned. The people in Nepal need to be warned. The people in South Europe need to be warned now. And let them know there's been an 8 over in the West Pacific. Follow the arrows. Where the arrows go, that's where the pressure is going to go. And it's all going to increase dramatically with the largest earthquake of the year that just happened at a shallow level in the West Pacific. That all being said, let's take one more look at the National Data Buoy Center. Let's just quickly take a look, see if anything else is showing. Well, now we got multiple stations. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got 6 stations in motion right now, guys. It went from 2 to 6. Now, that should be enough for them to issue a warning. If they don't issue a warning yet, there's something lagging, something wrong, something going on here. Yeah. They haven't updated it yet. Still waiting. Well, I don't know what they're waiting for. There's 8 stations now moving across the region that was just hit. That's a huge area to be displaced. All the way from Guam to Fiji. How about that? Oh boy. Well, guys, this is why I do what I do. Because, the governmental agencies take a little while to get that information out. If you live on the coast of Australia, you need to know there's 8 buoys all around this area that are showing wave motion right now. Like, this is a big deal for the people in northwest Australia or northeast Australia. So if you live in Australia, there's 8 stations going into motion right now. An 8.0 earthquake just struck to your northeast. People are dragging their feet issuing warnings, but I'm going to tell you, the chances are there probably is a wave occurring right now as I'm talking. And it's probably heading towards the coast of Australia and these islands at the speed of a jetliner. About 400 to 500 miles an hour, which means it'll be there very soon. Okay? And now the wave would most likely be in, I would say, in the 3 to 4 foot range. Not that big. Not that big at all, but just big enough to actually cause, some swells in the rivers, and in the islands nearby. That's going to be specific, like in the bays and inlets in the nearby islands at the West Pacific, Solomon Islands. That's a big deal. New eruptions are also potential. Where? In the areas adjacent to, next to this large earthquake. I mean, it's pretty obvious, right? So we have to watch for the next couple days. It's about to go through the roof in the West Pacific. And if you live in California, look, you just got hit. We're at a time of heightened unrest. It's prudent at this point to have a plan and be prepared. Don't be scared, guys. Do not be scared by this. Be prepared. Being prepared means looking at what's going on now and understanding that this earthquake here and the earthquake on the west coast of the U.S., that pressure is going to transfer out from these locations out to other regions. And the pressure follows these arrows. Not because I put them there. We put the arrows there as we notice the pressure transfers this direction. So areas in Europe, Italy, you have about 48 hours to 72 hours to be prepared. And I mean to dust off your plans and be ready for it. Also in the Mideast, you need to be on watch near Nepal going into Pakistan, Afghanistan. Why? The largest earthquake of the year just struck upstream from you. And you're downstream. You are downstream the way the pressure flows. Same with on the west coast of the U.S. and Central America. You are downstream from where this pressure transfers to. So it's up to you to watch and wait for it. Media is not going to tell you. They'll weigh in on this. Oh, big earthquake in the West Pacific. Nobody knew it was coming. Yeah, okay, well then why were we watching for a 7.9? I'm just saying. I'm not bragging. I've got to tell you guys. We were watching for a 7.9 in this location because of the previous deep earthquakes. And these large events only happen a few times a year at the most. So now you can really watch. You have a good example to watch from. To watch what happens after this 8. Where does it go? Does it go to the west? Does it go to the east? It's going to displace the whole West Pacific plate. Don't kid yourselves. Okay, guys, this is all going to take place in the next few days to hours. Again, it could happen today to the west. So there's only a short amount of time to get the warnings out. The warnings are over on my channel, saved as a new video from last night, and if you want to go check Copper Tropical's channel too, she's got it. Also, I'm going to be saving this as a video in itself. Now I'm going to go try the Tsunami Warning Center one more time. See if they've issued an advisory, watch, or threat even. They haven't even issued a threat, watch, or advisory. Well, meanwhile, how many stations are in motion now? Let's go see. Now we have even more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now we have 8 stations in motion. It's obvious at this point, guys. They should be issuing an advisory at least. They should be issuing an advisory. Now whether or not that's going to lead to a large wave on the shores kind of doesn't matter at this point. This many stations moving means there is actual motion going on. It's simple logic. This many stations move, then that means motion. Oh boy. Okay, so how many people are in here now? About 1,500. Please subscribe if you're new. I'm going to save this as a video on my channel now. Waves are spreading out from this location. It's spreading out at the speed of a jetliner, which means you only have a few hours to prepare in this area for a wave to come. And we are watching for potential movement to spread off this out to the west, following the red arrows. Boy, oh boy, I wasn't expecting that. I was reporting on the 6.5. As soon as I reported on the 6.5, that's when the 8.0 hit. So, again, guys, I take these warnings very serious. And when I issued the warning for this location, I expected them to hopefully get it. So hopefully there's not much loss of life or damage, or if there's a tsunami generated, that it's a low wave. I hope. I really hope. Oh, man, oh, man. Well, I told you guys last night, we're at a time of heightened unrest, that you need to have your plans dusted off because we could be looking at potential of large earthquakes. And man, it really came through today. Was not expecting that one to hit so soon. Oh, boy, oh, boy. Yeah, so 1,562 in here right now. I think that's the most we've ever had in here. I'm going to do a quick update, save it on my channel. I'll be back in a few minutes to do another update for the people. So you guys can share this now. We may see this number, 1,500, go up or down as people find out about this. And I'll be back on. Give me about 10 minutes to save the video, and I'll be back in to do another update. Peace out, guys. Don't be scared. Again, one last time. Do not be scared. Be prepared. Look at the areas moving. Dust off your earthquake plans. You'll be better off than 9 out of 10 people that you know. Peace out.